You are now listening to Couch Coach Live.
So we're here on a special Couch Coach Live. I got a special guest, my boy Rome. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah, man. So it's crazy to think that we sitting here, talking about Kobe Bryant in the past tense, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's still surreal. You see the news reports. You just hope what you're seeing isn't true. You're hoping that there's a hoax out there. And then the reality sets in that a pioneer, icon is gone, and it just makes you put a lot of things into perspective about life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, where were you when you first found out?
I was at home. I was taking me a little nap, and was kind of waking up by a bunch of text messages, phone calls from people, and then I turned on the TV, and there it is. For me, it was more one of those things like, I just watched a whole special on ABC the night before when, they was talking about LeBron getting ready to pass him, and they had AI on there talking about Kobe and his legacy and what he meant to the game. It just kind of, that even made it even more surreal. It's like, this dude meant so much, not only to the game, but just to the world in general. Is just, it's crazy. Like, you don't really get that feeling that people say that you're at a loss for words, but this is a situation where I truly was at a loss for words. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I totally get it, because when I first found out, I was actually at my job. So I came in to work at 2 yesterday, and one of my coworkers came in at 3, and they were like, "You heard about what happened to Kobe?" And I'm like, "You talking about what happened last night, LeBron breaking his record?" She was like, "No, like Kobe's dead." I'm like, "No way." So, that time, when people hear that, you scour the internet. I'm checking ESPN. I'm checking credible sources, because I tried TMZ. TMZ site crashed. So I was like,
same here, bro.
Yeah. And then some told me, check my Twitter. And then when Woj announced it, that's when I was like, damn. This is for real,
man.
Man. And it's just so, like you said, it's just so crazy how that aligned with what happened the night before. It's so just, it is, to me, it's so strange, and it's just, oh my gosh, it's one of those things where it's so hard to comprehend. And like you said, this is the first time I've been lost for words, and I was like, thinking about where I should, post or whatever. But I was in such a shock yesterday. Like, I was like you. I was thinking I was going to, wake up today and be like, yeah, that was just a sick joke, to be honest with you. And it's just,
Yeah, I mean, I went straight to his Instagram page just to see if he would post something like, yo, ain't none of this real, you know what I'm saying? Somebody to mess something up. For me, I kind of knew it was real. When TMZ first broke it, of course, nobody believed it because, TMZ have that history of doing what they do.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? Once I turned to CNN and they broke away from whatever they was mentioning, and they talked about the plane crashing in California, but they didn't name anybody. At that point, to me, I was like, yeah, this must be real because, I mean, unfortunately, planes go down often. You don't break away from whatever you're doing unless it's something of that magnitude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at that point, it kind of started to set in, and I was like, man, this is crazy. Like in our lifetime, we went through the Biggie, the Pac, you know what I'm saying, Michael, but this situation here is different. Like, this is a career that we literally remember his entire career.
Yeah.
Just talking to people that lived through, like, we lived through the Jordan era, but on some real, we didn't really understand Jordan until maybe the second three-peat.
Yeah.
You know, like when it comes to Kobe in '96, he like, I remember the draft.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right. And that's why I wanted you on, because you know, we essentially grew up together, and you, like you saying, we really didn't grasp the enormity of Michael Jordan until, like you said, you got to think about it, about, you know, 90s, like in the late 90s. I mean, mid 90s. You got to think about just the enormity of it. Kobe, like you said, I remember that draft, just like you. I remember that. And I'm like, who is this guy, Kobe Bryant, the one that's doing the little, you know, they do it like what the Q Dogs do, the little thing, you know. He was doing that, and like, you know, at that time I looked at it as like, oh yeah, man, this dude's showboating or whatever. And then just the history behind it, that he was the first guard to ever come out of high school. He was the first ever guard to ever come out of high school, and like you're saying, and he's the one. And that's why it's so, like you're saying, it's weird that. And that's one thing too. As you get older, you really realize just the age gap, and it's not as much as when you thought when you were little. You know, when he was coming up, you think in '96, man, we were like what, in the 6th grade going to 7th grade.
Yeah.
Like,
the year he was drafted, we was going into our 7th grade year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's unreal, you know. Like I can sit back and just remember us in the backyard hooping, and you know, we would stop hooping just to talk about what Kobe and AI did the night before, because I mean that's what we remember.
You
know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the first thing I did when I found out, I called Los, because he's the biggest Kobe fan, and you know what I'm saying. Just talking to him, you could just hear his voice. He was just like, dude, I can't believe this. You know what I'm saying? And it's just. You know, and then when you hear that his daughter was on that, for me, that's when it really hit me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You know, being a father of a daughter, just sitting back and you know how your kids look at you as to be Superman. Just in those last seconds, just imagine what was going on that helicopter. You know what I mean? It's just.
And that was another thing where this is how it's just, and this is what happens, and you. Because, you know, I didn't discover the daughter that passed away until maybe like 5 o'clock. Because all this stuff in my world, what was going on yesterday, everything felt like it was in slow motion. You were hearing like small details. I mean, you're hearing other people. You know, where I'm at, it was a couple of my coworkers. They're talking. There's rumors, and there was rumors of like Rick Fox being on the plane. I mean, it was a whole bunch of all these rumors. At one time, they were saying that all the children and the wife was on the plane, and I think that was
man.
I heard that initially, and then I was like, and then that's when someone was like, well, no, it's just it's just Kobe on the plane, and then I like with Dag, and I felt, and the first person I thought about was Gianna, that one. And that's the first person I thought about, and it's crazy that he was just on a podcast like 2 weeks ago with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, all the Smoke podcast, and it's crazy how and talking about like his daughter and like coaching her and this and third. It's just crazy how this happened, and like what Skip Bailey says, and just like what Skip Bailey says, it's right. It questions your mortality, because you look at a guy like Kobe, and you're like, you would have never thought in a million years that Kobe Bryant was gonna pass away, and at that age. And it was fun. It's crazy how I was talking to a couple of my coworkers within the last 24, about 24 hours. The way I looked at Kobe, I thought he was going to be that guy. He was going to be the Bill Russell, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was going to be that guy that was going to be around in his 70s and possibly 80s, who was going to become this great – he was going to be the next big ambassador. He was going to be the next to carry that torch of the next other ambassadors. And then, and then you're just thinking about – and it's so crazy how he just had so much to live for. And then even hearing that podcast, there was never no finality. Everything was just looking promising, and like you said, it goes back to a point where you just really realize how life is short and life is fleeting. I mean, he has so much stuff going on. He's going to be inducted in the Basketball Hall of Fame in September. Like,
man.
He was gonna be a part of that, and that was gonna be something that I know we all were looking forward to hear those stories, to hear that wisdom, to kind of to hear what he's gone through, and it's just something that we're never gonna witness, and then just looking at what he
now,
Yep. And then I was gonna
It just, like I said, it just puts a lot of things in perspective. Like you said, we were all looking at him, carry the lead. Like I think it was Jay Will said, his life on the court was over, but he was just hitting the prime of his life.
Right. Right.
Everything that he was doing was for him and his family. Like I said on one of my Facebook posts, like he gave us as fans 20 great years of him. Right. Now he was trying to really live as his life and do exactly what he was put on this earth to do. Exactly. And it's like it's just cut short, and it's surreal, Like I just been doing a lot of reflecting and just thinking about things, and we all have our players out there that we aren't fans of, but because of this Kobe situation and the scrutiny he went through, how you got people out there hating on him, people still want to bash his name. I'm making a point, everybody out there know I'm not the biggest LeBron James fan, but I would never talk bad about that man again, because the things that he does, not just in basketball, but just for the world in general, it's bigger than basketball.
It's big, right.
And, it's unfortunate that it takes the untimely death of Kobe for me to realize that.
Yep.
But, these dudes are human too, you know what I'm saying? And Kobe going the way he went, it just shows like at a blink of an eye it can all be gone.
Yeah, and I think it's important. That's definitely especially to us to turn that corner with LeBron, because we're his age, and he's going to be that guy that essentially will be our age. He is the guy that he's going to be the guy that we're going to follow throughout the rest of our lives and his lives. We're all going to be connected. That that connection. Kobe's more and what's with him is so weird. He's even revered amongst, because even you look at the podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, they're literally the same age, and you can it's almost like they looked up to a Kobe. Even people in his own age group revered him, and that's something that really, when I think about it now, listening to it, he's just, even because I think I listened to it about like a week ago, even though I think it's been out for almost 3 weeks now. And I mean, it's just the enormity of it all. It's just like this. You really can't even. There's no celebrity or anybody, or besides, that you can quantify this tragedy. This is something that's just. This is one of those moments where this is our generation's Kennedy, our generation's Martin Luther King.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's for us. Like I would say now, the millennials. I think this is the one of those deaths where we're always gonna say, "Where were you when Kobe Bryant died?" And it's just it's a shame that. It's in this goes up there. Like I said, it's unfortunate and everything. It's right up there with 9/11. You know what I'm saying? Right there, yeah.
When people ask that question, what would you do in 9/11? Yeah. I remember sitting up at Highland Springs. I remember the exact class I was in, and that's how this Kobe situation is going to hit me. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Come to think about it, we to go a little off kilter. No, we weren't in the same class, because when 9/11 happened, I was in Coach Kane class, your boy.
I was in one of my. I was in physics, I think.
Okay.
I remember the classroom, but I don't remember the exact class. It's just one of those things. It's like to try to suppress those memories, but you really can't, you know.
Yeah.
Like this whole situation, like I said, it just, like, for instance, just to kind of put you in what went through my head, I actually thought about you yesterday when the news broke, because I can remember conversations in the backyard when we was talking about Jordan and how you said something was to happen to Jordan and you don't know what you would do.
Right.
And now this happens, like this is our Jordan. So, you know, how do we, you know, it's just like, this is crazy, you know.
And it was funny because you look at, and this is where I think people don't realize what sports can do. Sports is escape from life. It's a reprieve from all the craziness that goes on. And when you look in, and that's why, you know, we have this connection sports wise with these guys, because they provide something to us that provides our escape. And then when this happens, it's escape from reality, which, you know, and you have to, you know, and you know, and that's what happens. And then when a guy like this passes away from your escape, it's just something that you really just cannot grasp. It's just something that, and just to even, and it's crazy. I'm actually looking at Super Bowl opening night and just seeing like that 1978 to 2020. It's still, I see that and it's just like, it's you know, and then and it's crazy. I seen a picture the other day, well, not the other day, but yesterday, of when he shook David Stern's hand, and I'm thinking to myself, in a matter of less than 4 weeks, we lost both of them.
Yeah. I mean, the NBA, I mean, just basketball in general is in the state of healing, yo. And I mean, and then what also got me, I was watching ESPN last night, and they played the commercial with Kobe, Stuart Scott.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, dude, this is it. Yeah. It's crazy, you know. You never thought
2 out of 3.
You just never thought that this would happen in the way it happened. You know what I mean? Like, we've had pioneers pass away before from like old age, illnesses, but you know, to wake up on a Sunday or whatever you're doing on a Sunday and you get that type of news, it literally just makes you stop. Like, yo, this can't be real.
Right, and it's just all of this is just so crazy. Like, and you think to yourself. And it's just like it's just something that I would have never ever guessed. Like Skip Bayless even touched this yesterday. I mean today. If you gave me 10,000 names, and you would have told me out of one of them they were going to pass away on Sunday, and one of them was going to be Kobe Bryant, I would have been like, nah, there's no way in hell he would, because it's crazy, like, to think, like I said in the beginning, like, to talk about Kobe Bryant in the past tense, to me it's just unfathomable to even talk like this, to a point like, you know, that we actually sitting here and we're talking about the Kobe Bryant, and it's even just everything, like, even just not the escaping of it, it's just everywhere, and it's in your face, it's almost like I still cannot comprehend it. Like, it is just something that this is gonna take a while. This is gonna be something that's gonna be it's gonna take a long time. I mean, and this dude meant so much to the game. He just meant so much to everything in general. Like, I mean, it ain't nothing to just turn on the radio and hear a rapper just throw his name out there in the verse. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, that shows you what he meant to not just the NBA. He meant to everybody. Yeah. You know, it's crazy. And, you know, you just sit back and you just think about, you know, some of the people out there that just wanted, you know, they wanted to face his name and make him sound like just this bad person. And now that you coming out and you doing your research, and if you weren't a big Kobe fan then, and you just see some of the things he's done just in the 3 years of retirement alone, it's just like, this dude was, like you said, the next ambassador of the game.
like he loved the game of basketball. It wasn't just the NBA. I mean, he was heavy in trying to get the WNBA name out there. You know, he had his AAU team with his daughter, and just trying to, you know, show people that it's more out there than just the NBA. You can do it on all other levels. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just, like I said, it's a tough pill to swallow. You know.
And then if even if there, I haven't kind of found even a silver lining in all this, in a sense, even though it's in such a tragedy, there is somewhat of a silver lining. They were on their way to doing something they love to do.
Exactly. Yep.
And it's just and that's one thing where I'm starting to, you know, and I heard that, and not to compare the two, but I remember when Paul Walker died, and they said, well, he was doing what he loved to do, and I kept on thinking to myself, I mean, that's crazy talk. But then now you seen these, I've seen some examples ever since, you know, that's been like 2013, so it's been almost 7 years. I've seen people who have passed on and were doing things they love to do while, you know, prior to them passing away. And I look at that and it's like, you know, as if you can draw a silver lining in the sand with this, that's the only really thing I can think of as far as a silver lining in this situation.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I agree. I'm right there with you. You know, like you say, the silver lining, doing what he loved to do. Like I've seen out there some people questioning, well, why is he flying a helicopter? Why is he driving? I mean, they don't. It was an interview he did a couple years back where he was asked that question, and he literally said, L.A. traffic would take me 2 to 3 hours to get to and from. I was doing everything my kids are doing. So that's why he was flying. And, you know, just to know that he was getting on that helicopter to go and coach his daughter in a game is like, I gave y'all 20 years. Now I'm making memories with my kids, you know, because and it's just, it's crazy, yo. Like,
yeah, it is.
It's like, you know, like I said, we've been around for celebrity deaths, you know.
Yeah.
We've had the, you know, the Michael Jacksons of the world and everything, but like I said, those are people that our parents had to teach us about them. It wasn't something that we grew up with them. This situation is one of those things, like I said, you know, AI and Kobe came out together. Yeah. You were basically looking like, okay, you AI, I'm Kobe. You playing one-on-one in the backyard. I'm Kobe.
Exactly.
I'm Kobe, you know? It's just like, you know, it's just,
Exactly. Yep, you were either Kobe, or you know, you know, either use Kobe or AI. Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, you always, you know, you throw the, you know, you be in the office and you know, shoot that paper in the air, Kobe.
Yeah.
And that's it's just so iconic with that, and it's just, you know, it's just crazy. So, what's your favorite Kobe moment?
Man, so many, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the Achilles game that he injured that Achilles, came in, shot them 2 free throws. Like that right there just shows the warrior that he was. So if I had to say mine, it would probably be that. Although it was at the end of his career, it literally showed the type of heart that he had, the type of tenacity that he had, that nothing would stop me from doing what I want to do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he just, you know, you see guys nowadays, they get a tweak of the ankle and they out for months at a time. This dude wanted to play with that ruptured Achilles. Like, I want to do this. Take me up and let me play these last 3 minutes. And it's just like, you know, that right there just described Kobe in one game. Like, if you really wanted to go to one thing about Kobe and really see what Kobe was about, that game is it. And I would say his final game, when he went out there and put up 60, and it's just looking like, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's crazy. You know?
Yeah, mine's got to be that 60-point game, the last game. I mean, it's just, oh man, he was firing, and it was just a great night, and it was just the energy in the Staples Center was just electric. You just, oh man, that was fantastic. That was just something.
It is. I mean, I still have the game on my DVR.
For real.
Yeah, I recorded that game because I knew I would want to go back and just watch greatness. Unfortunately, we didn't have the luxury of DVR and all of that to record Jordan's last game and just keep it like that.
Exactly.
It hit,
Yeah. We use some VHSs. I don't know if you can do VHS convert to digital. I mean, but it's a little hard work. But
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And another one, I want to say, Game 6 of the 2000 NBA Finals, where he just became a man to me. I think it's just one of the things where he just balled out. That was Game 6 or Game 5. I forgot which one it was. It was the one that Shaq was fouled out, and he took over. I want to say that was either it was I put it this way: the Indiana series, which is the Indiana series in the 2000 NBA Finals, and it's so crazy to him, and that's crazy. And they asked him about that finals and talked about that was 20 years ago, and just reflecting on that series, and and I mean, and that's another thing. It's crazy to think that, and it's crazy to think a guy of that magnitude who was pretty much at that peak at that time, and then 20 years later, he's not even here.
Yeah,
just
man.
trips me out.
It just makes you realize that life is short. I mean, it's short. You got to cherish the moments while you're here. You
have to. And I think that's I think that's one of the biggest lessons in his death. Definitely, don't hold grudges with people. Don't and I like what Kendrick Perkins tweeted out yesterday, pretty much telling KD, hey man, let's squash that. We boys. Let's not even go through that. I apologize.
Definitely.
Because
it ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it.
It's life outside of basketball, and that's what I think.
Right.
Kobe was starting to show everybody. Like, it's life outside of this where you can still affect the game but not be in the game. It just, I'm just glad that, him and Shaq was able to sit down and talk their things out before this happened, and just patch all that up because
that would have been rough.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And then and then another person I thought about real heavy yesterday was Sharif O'Neal.
Yeah.
And how he pretty much, Kobe was texting him pretty much not even hours, maybe, minutes before he passed away.
Yeah.
He was literally on the helicopter text hitting Sharif O'Neal up. And that's just crazy. So what's your biggest lesson, your biggest Kobe lesson in death and in during his life?
Well, I'm going to start with his life. In life, he just taught me, it just makes you want to go as hard as you can at anything you do. Whatever you do, just try to be as great as you can be. He set his bar at Michael Jordan. Like, he came in the league and said, I'm going to be better than that guy. And every single day, night in and night out, he did his darnest to try to be better than MJ. And I know, if Kobe would say, he said it, I did my best. I may not have caught him, but whenever you mention his name, you're going to mention mine. Yeah. So, in his life, I would say just the tenacity and, go after what you want. Go after your dreams. Chase your dreams and don't give up. Right. And, in his death, that is easily for me, I have a 4-year-old daughter. It's, cherish the moments with your kids, make those memories now because you never know what can happen. Like I said, I just sit back and kind of reflected on how my life has been with my daughter so far. At the age of 1, she really didn't want me. Age of 2, all she wants is mommy. 3, she wants mommy. Even at 4, she wants mommy. But in times of need, when she's scared, a bug get in the house, or my daughter is scared of motorcycles. When she hears that or see a bug, who does she yell for? Dad, and it just kind of puts you in that moment, like, what was Gigi's reaction to this whole situation? Kobe was probably trying to keep it cool, everything will be okay, but knowing in the back of his mind, like, this might be the end, but my daughter looked at me as Superman. So in his death, it's one of those things, cherish the moments right now, because you never know. It could be cut short at any moment. You know, the only thing that's for certain in life is death. So, you know,
Right.
I mean, that's what I gather from it. You know, just you know, cherish the moments. You know, because they're precious.
Absolutely. Thinking in his life, I think my biggest thing, and it's funny that he talked about this on the podcast 2 weeks ago about the air ball in Utah, his rookie year where he shot the air ball, and how that was such a turning point in his life, and it's just one of the things where he could have easily gave up, and he could have easily lost his confidence, but I think that fueled him even more. And I think sometimes we have to really realize sometimes in life, we're gonna fall short on a lot of things, but we still gotta get up. We're gonna it's gonna be a point in life where you're gonna shoot an air ball in Utah, not literally, but figuratively.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You know, are you gonna you're gonna persevere, or are you gonna let that affect you? And then just in, like you said, and in death is like you saying, it's, you know, death don't discriminate. Is you know, they don't, you know, death don't discriminate. It's, you know, it could be somebody who's, you know, like and I think you look at, and that's, you know, not the kind of, I think you can even lump the other seven victims. You know. That whole community is gonna be rocked with that, and I mean, you look at, and then and I can even, you know, kind of circle it back just with David Stern. David Stern was 77 years old. Kobe was 41. Gigi was 13. Like, death don't discriminate.
Yeah, definitely.
And like you said, you have to spend time, enjoy your time, and enjoy your life, because you never know what can happen. And it just, and I, you know, and you think about this type of stuff, and it's one of those things where it's just like, I sit back and I think Kobe was, you know, on his plane, 12 o'clock right around our time, Eric get ready to go on a flight for his last time. I'm, you know, sitting down, you know, because my family, we get together once a month, and I think to myself, I'm here, you know, with my family, you know, just having a good time, and then this man Kobe, essentially, is getting ready to take his last ride, and it's just one of the things where it's just like you have to cherish these moments. It's about quality, not quantity. Yeah, and just you cherish every day. Every day is a gift. You're not promised. And I think it hits a lot more now, just because of the actual it being Kobe, because that's somebody you would have never ever thought that would pass away. Not just talking about 2020. I wouldn't even envision him passing away in the foreseeable future. I figured he would have more, like you said, he'll have more of the, you know, he'll have 20 plus years of non-basketball, into his new life. And I figured he would have more time in his new life than when he played. And but just like sports, it's unpredictable. We never know.
You never know. Yeah.
You never know.
You know, it just puts a lot. I mean, like I said, it puts everything in perspective. How everything just really happened full circle. The air balls in Utah, and then I finished my last game giving Utah 60. You know.
Right. Exactly.
The whole situation.
Exactly.
LeBron James looking to pass him. He ends up passing him in Philly, where Kobe is from. It's just like, you know, LeBron James, the way that he, you know, when they asked him how would it feel to pass Kobe, instead of giving himself credit, he basically talked about how great Kobe is and how no one can ever do what Kobe did. It's just, like I said, it makes you realize, like, it is bigger than basketball. And if I had to say one thing about LeBron, that's what I do, you know, love about his career. For him, it was always more than just the game. And for us, for Kobe, you didn't really see it because he had that Mamba mentality. Everybody thought Kobe was about Kobe, not knowing what he was doing behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So that's the stuff I think people are now realizing what Kobe actually did for the game, because he was Mamba mentality. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give y'all these 20 years, but now y'all really know what Kobe was about. Kobe's the man, not Kobe the basketball player. And I mean, and that's the Kobe that I'm missing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the Kobe playing. Like, that was, it was something turning on the TV and Kobe going out there and busting anybody. But the Kobe after retirement, that's the Kobe that I really fell in love with, because it was about my family, and it was about, progression, not only for, his family, but just for the whole world in general. Like, we lost the icon. Like, whatever is the biggest accolade you could give a person, that's what Kobe was to us. Like, I sit back and I think about it, like, I got my mother-in-law, at home, like, he's touching people in their 60s, 70s, 80s years old, and it's like, like him and LeBron, all they supposed to do is shut up and dribble. But look at the lives that these dudes touch. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And one thing, too, and I know LeBron probably hurting, but I know he can have solace in the fact that Kobe knew how he really felt about him. I think that's another thing, too, while giving people their flowers, why they're still here, even though it was, he was gone within 12 hours of that.
Yeah.
He knew what that meant, what LeBron James meant to him. He had an opportunity, and I think going forward, I think he's going to really realize, like, man, I actually did have that opportunity to pretty much show my appreciation to him. And it's crazy because, to me, hearing LeBron is almost, and it's almost similar to, and I think he carried the same sentiment as we do, because, of course, like you said, we're the same age as LeBron. So you hear that, and it's like you felt every word of that. And it's just crazy to think that this happened on top of that. And it's just like, but, he was able to give Kobe his flowers while he was still alive. And that's just something that I think we all should learn that lesson. Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's what, my bad, not to cut you off.
I know, you're good, good.
But that's one thing, just sitting back thinking about it, how the NBA has changed, and, everybody is friends and everybody want to adapt each other up. I will say in this moment, I can see why they do that. Yeah. Why the game has went away from the game that we watched back in the early 90s, mid-90s to the early 2000s up until now. It does put everything in perspective, and it makes you think about that camaraderie that they have. Like, I'm glad that is in the game now. Yeah. Because just think about it. If this was, 20 years ago and LeBron was passing Kobe, I don't know if we would have got that type of speech.
Exactly.
Because back then it was that I'm the alpha dog. There's nobody else can sit on this throne with me. So, what LeBron has done for the game to kind of merge guys into being together and everything, I would say now I understand why they're doing it. Yeah. Because, if something like this happens to anybody else in the basketball world of that magnitude, it'll be something that we'd be able to deal with a little bit easier than it is now. Like this right now, this is going to shake the world for a minute. Like, somebody had to remind me today that it's Super Bowl week. Like, I forgot the Super Bowl was coming up.
And that's where because to me, this is like Sunday. Before, when I was so excited. I'm like, man, I can't wait to see these guys come off the plane. And this is almost like I don't even give a damn. I'm sitting here and I'm actually watching Super Bowl opening night. I used to love watching that, and it's just like it just don't even feel right. It don't even feel right. Like, this was supposed to end like the Pro Bowl, even though Pro Bowl, I still would watch it, but it's just like it's just on. It's just, and maybe throughout the week it'll get better, but it's
gonna take a while.
Yeah, but like you said, it's just this is like you saying, this is because to me, I view the Super Bowl as an unofficial holiday. Like, I was pumped because actually my job, we're having like a tailgate party on Friday, so I was excited about it, wearing my Redskin jersey and stuff, and now I'm almost like, I don't even care. Like, I don't even care because it's like, this is just something that is just like, it really just rocks you to the core, and it's just like, you don't even know how to feel and how to just even, proceed with your thoughts, especially, with this going on, because it was even tough going on social media. I just took a break. I was like, I'm not even gonna post nothing. I did do the profile picture, but other than that, I was like, I gotta give myself a day. I was gonna just do this alone. I was like, man, I can't even do this by myself. Like, I had to get somebody to, I had to, and the first person I thought, I was like, man, I gotta get my boy Rome on here, First person I thought, I was like, man, no problem, man.
I mean, to be honest with you, this is something I needed, because for me, of course, Los is the guy that I go to, but, I mean, we share the same sentiments about Kobe,
Mm-hmm.
Of course, growing up, he was the Kobe, I was the AI guy, but we both loved him right. To the game. So,
exactly.
it's just one of those situations like, dude, like, for instance, I was watching the Zion game yesterday. I'm a huge Zion fan, being a Duke fan. I can't even tell you what happened in that game. Like, I don't even remember the game. That's how out of tune I am right now.
And you're right, because it's so funny because I was one time one of my coworkers, and we were just walking around, and the game was on, and he was like, yeah, man, the Celtics, the Celtics is looking terrible tonight. I'm like, I swear, I looked at the screen, I was like, damn, I didn't even know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even, like, it's like I couldn't even, like, it was to a point where it's like, oh, wow, I couldn't even think, because because it was at a point where they were coming into, during the breaks, and, they were talking about Kobe Bryant during the breaks, and then it's just like, I was like,
Yeah, I mean, even a couple times during the game, they would split screen it and have them talking about Kobe as the game was going on. And it's like, I mean, how can I really pay attention to this when you're sitting here and you're talking about the greatness of Kobe? Like,
right.
I can't even watch basketball right now. Like, I just wanted to lay down and go to sleep and wake up and hope that this was all a dream.
Exactly.
Wake up this morning and it's the reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, wow.
Boy, I know. And I know Kobe would have been like, man, don't cancel these games, don't. But a part of me was like, these guys, I mean, and I know these guys are professional, but my goodness, like, these guys knew him. And that's the thing that just, like, I just couldn't imagine if I would have ever met him. I don't even think I would have been able to even talk or even just I don't know what I would be able to do, much less suit up for a basketball game. I would have been just like Kyrie. I'd have got there and then I found out I'd have been gone. Like, there's no way. Because something like that is just and that's just such a rare tragedy, and it's just like it deserved. And I'm actually glad that they canceled the game tomorrow. I'm
definitely
glad,
definitely,
because those guys, and I think just
go ahead.
Because to me, I think those guys, especially coming off this long road trip, even though I'm not trying to, excuse it, but just the simple fact of, man, these guys need to, this is tough. I mean, just imagine you having this long road trip, and then you find out this news en route to going back to L.A., and then you got to play a game within the next, 48 hours. And it's just...
I agree. When I saw the notification earlier today, I was like, I'm glad they made this decision where, you got both LA teams playing. Yeah, maybe you can bring the city together, but
it's just too
I understand
soon
about bringing the city together, but exactly, it's too soon. The players aren't ready for it. Like, I feel like the only game that should have been played yesterday was the Utah-Denver game, only because it was broke that it was actually Kobe as that game was about to tip off. So I can understand that game being played. You know, the fans are already there. You know, I understand that one. But every game after that, I feel like should have been canceled. I mean, it's those guys, like, to be honest with you, and I said it on Facebook, like, it was going to be sloppy basketball. And I watched some of the games, and it was like Boston looked sloppy, and you can tell it wasn't because they didn't know what they were doing. Like, Kemba Walker was not in the game yesterday. Like, he was not there.
He won't.
You know, and then I was watching, and I seen, like, when Jamal Murray found out about it, and he just looking like, yo, what, Kobe? You know what I'm saying? And then I saw a clip today, Amari Stoudemire finding out overseas, and he just broke down. And it's just like, dude, this dude, like, these are players and these are guys that if you didn't mock your game after him, you were going in the trenches with him or playing against him night in and night out. Like, everybody has some type of ties to Kobe, and it's like to hear that he's gone, it's unfathomable. You know, you look at the top 5 scorers in the league, you would not think that the number 3 scorer, the number 4 scorer in the league would be gone.
Exactly.
Like, you wouldn't think that. You know, you look at Kareem, Malone, LeBron, Kobe, Jordan. You wouldn't think that Kobe would be it's just
that he'll be the one.
Yeah.
And it's just I do applaud the NBA for doing that, because it's like and they'll in due time they'll get that all together, but it's just to get over this and this enormity. It's just something that's not going to just be cured with this game. It's not.
No, not at all.
Simply not. And it's just they can make up that time, and plus they'll play in the Western Conference Finals the way it looks. They'll have plenty of time to bring this city together, but
Yeah.
So any final thoughts?
Well, I will say this. I mean, before all of this happened, I was not for the Lakers winning the championship, but now I mean, I'm rooting for them. You know, I feel like this would be a way to really, send Kobe off if we can get them another championship. You know, it's just, I mean, to me, it just would be the perfect end to a sad situation. But as far as final thoughts, I would like to just say, I know we spent a lot of time talking about Kobe, but I also want to send my prayers up for all the other families that's been affected by it, because, I mean, of course we talk about Kobe because he's a mogul, he's an icon, but, to the other families, those people in their lives that they've lost, they were probably icons to them. So what I'm saying? I don't want them being gone in this situation. I want Kobe to overshadow that the other families out there are also hurt.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you don't want to forget the other 7, but and when you got a guy who has touched so many people's lives, not just in LA, not just in the United States, but globally, it's just one of those things where it's just grasping the enormity of just that one, and unfortunately that does in essence get overshadowed. But like you said, we still do send our condolences to him, but it's just this guy just has so much of an impact that it just could not be ignored. Like the world stopped yesterday.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That's just something where we live in such a world now where people are just they die one day and they're forgotten. Like, I couldn't believe the fact. I remember this is in like 2016 when David Bowie died, and I'm like, this man's a musical icon. And then like the next day they talking about Birdman on the Breakfast Club. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like even somebody like him that was, to me, was an icon, was a musical legend. And he, you hear about his story. I think he died on a Thursday, and then the next day it's almost like you forgot all about it. Yeah. So and now So man, appreciate you coming on the pod this today. Especially podcast. Always. Where can they find you on social media?
I can be found on Instagram at LilRome84. That's the only social media that I really rock with.
Yes, indeed. All right, man. Appreciate you, Rome, for coming through, man. This has been Couch Coach Live, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. on a special Couch Coach Live.